Hey, Sasquatch runner, 20 weeks out from Route 66, 100 miles through the Arizona desert in November. And out here today, we're doing what I always do. And that's right, we're moving because this is where the work starts. We're going to get into it, and I'm going to lay out the 20-week plan, and I'll go through the different sections of how I built this plan and what I'm doing different for this time around, so we can be more successful come Route 66 100. Stay tuned. So I finished a couple 100 milers, but it's been quite a while, and I was also a little younger, but I've also DNF'd several along the way in all my years of ultra running, with the latest one being the Badwater Salton Sea just back in April. And you can check out that video there and the recap and what happened. So one of the things about this training plan that I've really gone back and making it different to make this one different is I've really taken time and analyzed every time I DNF'd and anytime I had a success and what those variable factors were. And when I DNF'd again and again at different times, I come up with the same factors. And for me, that's really understanding your pace, your GI system, which includes your hydration, nutrition, and your salt, and the heat. So all those factors, once they go astray or out the window, it can be a cascade domino effect super fast, and you can get in trouble. And I've certainly had those since I've gone back and sat down and analyzed all of those races. So again, this plan is going to be just a little bit different, taking into that experience, understanding, and monitoring those much more aggressively during the training and the lead up to the Route 66. All right, everybody, just laid out real quick. Route 66, 20 weeks. Let's go through it real quick. It's going to be fast. Weeks 1 through 7 is basically base building. I'm basically back to running. I haven't been running a whole lot of volume, been doing the rucking stuff. And so now we're just back to running and building back the base. And I had an easy run yesterday, but we're back to base building. So a lot of zone 2 work, and I'm strength training roughly about 3 to 4 times a week. Right now I'm trying to go for 4. I'm using a plan that's kind of intermingled, and I kind of tweaked it a little bit from Gritty Soldier. And if you guys don't know about him, check him out. And he's got a bunch of training plans, but one of his plans is called the Hybrid Athlete Plan. And it's nothing super extravagant, but it's just basically body parts split throughout the day or throughout the week. And I've just kind of modified that based off of my schedule and what's kind of happening with the run volume and whatnot. But I liked it. It works out good, so I implemented it. Then we're going to shift in eight weeks, and then I'm just going to do a quick shift. I'm going to drop probably down into that 3 workout per week zone, and then I'm going to start like kind of building back on tempo runs. So just a little bit faster run work during the weekly volume, and I'll be going through those as we get into training and whatnot, and I'll be talking about them. Then in weeks 9 through 15, race build. So strength training will come down again, probably 2 to 3 times a week. Definitely trying to keep it in twice, but I'll keep aiming for 3 based off of how my body feels in recovery, based off of the volume, because the tempo runs are starting to increase, the volume's increasing, the long, slow distance runs are increasing. Everything is kind of going up as far as we're going. And so the whole point of this program that we got going is I'm trying to get into the overall training aspect of increasing time. So really working by time, not by mileage. And so peak volume should be somewhere around 9 hours per week for a minimum of at least 6 weeks before the race. So this particular block, I'm trying to get closer to 12 and be much more consistent than I have in the past. Again, these are some of the things I've learned and not been as consistent as I like. So we're really pushing hard into that. Anyways, we go into 2 tapers. Why do I got 2 tapers? Well, one, I just got a vacation kind of built in there. So I'm doing a little bit of a drop down. Well, I'll also drop down into a strength session. So 1 to 2 times a week. I'm going to try to keep up 2, but definitely got to keep into 1. And also this is around week 16, 17, 18, and 19. Then once that second taper hits, then I'm basically dropping out strength training other than mobility and work like that. But then we'll keep doing the zone 2 kind of work, just easy runs. Again, we're 18 weeks, 19 weeks. We're almost to the race time. So we don't want to be doing anything super crazy and stressing the body, because we've probably come off of great big builds, as I was just talking about, trying to get those 12 hours per week. So with that, and then we hit week 20, and then we're into race week. So here we're just tapering, super light, easy walks, mobility, and just trying to take it easy, get your sleep, get everything prepared, make sure you're going in fully as rested as possible. Nutrition, for me, nutrition is just going to be overall keeping my protein, carbs up, keep your fat going, and that's just going to be mostly throughout the whole program. I'm going to be somewhere between probably 25 to 3,000 calories, depending on the volume of the week and what's happening in the training and the strength and all that. But it'll be very based off of how I feel as well. But I'll be keeping you guys up to date on that. The GI and the pace, again, as I talked about during the tempo runs, we're really going to work on that. I got to get that much more dialed in. It's something that's just, my system's changed a little bit over the years, and so I don't have a good grasp on that 100%. Hence one of the reasons why Badwater Salton Sea, check that video out, didn't quite work out, is because of that, right? So mobility and soft tissue work, guys, you got to keep training, and you got to keep your volume going, but you also got to keep your mobility and your soft tissue work. So whether you like to get massage therapy, fascial stretch therapy, your chiropractic work, your PT, all that's got to stay in to keep your body healthy and recovering good. I'm always doing something pretty much every day, whether I'm working on my calves, working on my hips, doing mobility for my ankles. I'm always doing something. So as the weeks progress, I'll be talking about that. So stay tuned. Let's keep going. Man, this is going to be exciting. 20 weeks is a long ways out there, but it's actually not that far ahead, and time will go by fast. So every workout, every run, every ruck, every strength training session, mobility, all has a purpose to build that foundation to get to the finish line and come in the healthiest, strongest, injury-free we can to make it to that start line. So if you have a big goal and you're after something, drop it in the comment, let me know. If you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button. Let's go on the journey. It's going to be great, and I look forward to seeing you guys out there.